Hello, my name is Marcus, and welcome to my channel. Welcome. We are back to talk about Star Wars The Acolyte, Episode 6. This is the fifth video that I have made covering this show. It has had its many lows, a couple of highs. It's just going to be kind of mediocre mid throughout my duration of trying to enjoy the show. Episode 6, how did I feel about it? It was an episode that I honestly got some good story enjoyment out of. Definitely not as exciting as episode 5 was. I think that still takes the cake as the most exciting episode from the entire series. Was confirmed that Jackie and Lord are indeed deceased. Definitely not going to be any magical properties that help them survive, kind of like Raya did in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. That's okay. I definitely kind of appreciate that. So their characters, I found them annoying, honestly, but they had some amazing fight scenes in episode 5, but definitely not going to miss them. But we have our sexy Sith here. He makes his way into showcasing a different personality. As we recall from episode 5, Osha and May got switched. So now Osha is with Omar and May is with Soul. So essentially the entire episode is Omar trying to seduce Osha into the dark side. And I feel like the dialogue here kind of switched back and forth between a flirtatious movement trying to seduce her into the dark side and kind of like stern, but not really stern, but just in passionate understanding of maybe she was never meant to be a Jedi and this is why. It was definitely focusing on not the bad aspects of the dark side, but the passionate, being able to feel, being able to love, still being able to grip reality and your normal human emotions, and just the eye contact, the touch, the human to human connection. It just felt like he was trying to convince her to fall in love with him. Definitely aggressive seduction I could feel from both actors was going on here, and I really did enjoy that. I appreciated that, truly. Probably gonna piss a lot of Star Wars people off, but I consider myself a Star Wars fan, but I am also a hopeless romantic. So I don't know, just something about this episode I really got enjoyment out of seeing them connect on a way deeper level. It was really a joy to witness. Sometimes I wonder myself, if Star Wars was like a real reality, would I be a Sith or would I be a Jedi? And I respect the Jedi, but they do have a dogmatic view of society. It kind of sucks to not be able to feel. So I definitely understand easily being seduced by the nature of the dark side. What do we all of humans, what do we want? We want connection. We want love. We want to feel like we're wanted. We want to feel just that connectivity with another person. It even got so aggressive that Omar was daring her to murder him, and she just couldn't do it. Because he was making some sense. Essentially, she decided to leave the Jedi Order, but it was because she couldn't leave the love of her family behind. She couldn't leave the love of her sister behind. So kind of makes perfect sense. Now, for story aspects, we do have to acknowledge that he did just murder Jackie and Yord, the two characters that she connected with through the course of the first 5 episodes of the show. But, forget about that. She's feeling something a little bit deeper here. So I guess, just let it go, I guess. It's fine. It's fine. Thanks for that story. However, I would be lying if I didn't feel the genuine connection between Osha and Omar more so than I did between her and Jackie or her and Yord. That's off top for sure. Then the episode takes us back to Soul and May. Essentially, the first half of their story portion of this episode is May still trying to assassinate Soul, but he quickly sees the deception, and more so in just him trying to connect with May, who he is thinking is Osha. How he mentions, the droid Pip, how a connection between Osha and Pip, he really appreciates that, where in reality, May literally just deleted Pip's memory banks and reset him back to factory setting. That sucks. Kind of funny, kind of sad all at the same time. Yeah, it was just pretty difficult, I would assume, to disguise yourself from a Jedi Master, even if you do have an identical twin. So he saw pretty quickly through the deception of it and ended up hitting her with a stun blaster and secured her to a table. But the cool part is, this is probably my favorite cliffhanger of the show. He really wants to tell May the truth and really get an understanding and how she was seduced by Omar to the dark side. Which is the funny part is I don't even know if May has the dark side in her. I don't recall any of the Jedi that she's taken on or fought, or nobody has really said that they sense the dark side inside of her. So, maybe she has the dark side. Maybe she's still kind of in the middle, kind of like that gray Jedi situation, even though that's not canon. But who the hell cares about canon in this show? I mean, that's just not even a thing anymore. I mean, easily you can go back to the old saying when Yoda and Mace talking and saying that they had peace for 1,000 years, and now we have 80 years before the Phantom Menace is supposed to take place, and we have a confirmed Sith, going and taking out Jedi. Even if all the Jedi from this show die and, they are somehow able to hide that, somebody's going to go and see that some of these Jedi were killed by lightsaber attacks. Oh, it's just blowing my mind, I guess, from a story aspect, if they're just kind of ignoring George Lucas's original story. I mean, there's just no denying that. I mean, I know some people who are, I guess, kind of new to Star Wars, or maybe haven't been watching Star Wars for the last 15, 20 years like I have. Maybe they're just decided that they're not going to care about it. I've kind of wrapped my head around that as well, of trying not to care, but it still at least has to be acknowledged. Then pretty much they end the show on explaining Smilo Ren's helmet here. I don't know why that he has to put these teeth in here. That is such a horrific design. Please take these teeth out of here. God almighty. But it's a youngling helmet that dulls the senses so that it's just you and the Force. That is according to Omar. So I did find that pretty cool. And they utilize this helmet to kind of explain O'Shea's confusion and whether or not she wants to be on the side of the light or she wants to enter into the state of the dark side. I think more so than anything else, she wants to conquer her force powers and be able to control the power of the Force. Because, of course, within his seduction, Omar does a brilliant job of pumping her up and telling her that the Jedi and everybody should be afraid of her because she has more of a Force potential than anyone. So this kind of sounds like Anakin Skywalker, sounds like a copycat, but whatever, I'm just telling you how I'm interpreting the story. Okay, so with this episode here, man, I know it may seem kind of weird, but believe it or not, I actually very much enjoyed it. It didn't really have any action at all other than O'Shea pretending to make an attempt on Omar's life. But I think that was all just part of the flirtation and the seduction. So those are the aspects of the episode that I enjoyed the most by far. I've always been a hopeless romantic, even if it's in unrequited love or a forbidden love per se. Very excited to see the next episode, to see where this storyline takes us. I'm very excited to see tell May the full truth and nothing but the truth, to see if he can get her to turn back to the side of the light. I'd like to see them switch places. I'd like to see O'Shea go to the side of the dark. I'd like to see May be returned to the side of the light. I think that would be a really cool, kind of predictable outcome of the show, but I'd like to see it nonetheless. And that's going to do it for this one. So y'all know the drill now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. If you hated it, if you hated the entire series and you're still watching, why? But still tell me in the comment section below just why you're still watching it. If you have hated every episode, we're on episode 6 now. I'm getting some enjoyment out of it, I can't lie. It's definitely the most hated Star Wars property I've seen in quite some time, but I'm doing my darndest to get some enjoyment out of it, and episode 6 really kept a smile on my face all the way through. So very, very happy with it. All right. As always, you can follow me at youtube.com/SmartJack79. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And as always, my friends, I will see y'all on the next one. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.